All right. Hey everyone. Welcome Facebook Live. I'm Jared and I got a story for you today about a guy who came into my Tuesday noon sit-ins in Santa Clara library and we talked, and then a few hours later I see a five-star review on my Google business weight loss enlightenment. And my heart was touched and I thought about what happened. And I thought the basis of what happened, what inspired him to leave a five-star review, was simply breaking free of the diet mentality that so many people get caught in and letting the outside voices go and reconnecting to himself. So I'll elaborate. The outside voices, he said, were his dietitian, his doctor, his trainer. So for the last couple years, he'd been slowly gaining weight, he noticed, and he wanted to get help for it. He didn't like the way his body looked. And he comes in saying, he comes in and asks me, so what do I need to eat? Like, what do I need to eat right? Something like that. And I can hear in his voice, there's a little frustration. There's a little, like, he's asking the question about what do I need to eat, but it's almost as if he's tried eating right before and he's frustrated. It's almost like he's frustrated and then just wants to hear my opinion, get some advice, and move on with his day and try to figure this out. At a deeper level, though, I feel like he's trying to connect. He's coming in, he's saying, what do I need to eat? What do I need to eat? Because he knows something is wrong. That's what he's coming in with. He knows something is wrong, and so he elaborates, he explores his story. And he goes on and says, I get these cravings at night. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to eat to fix these cravings? He says, like, I have tried eating what the doctor said, the trainer said. They say eat a protein bar if you get hungry. They say, if you're, and he says, I try to beat the cravings, but I get a headache. I feel lightheaded. I feel dizzy. Like, they're telling me what to eat and I'm eating it, but it doesn't make me feel good. So I'm stuck. He's like, I need to lose weight, but I keep gaining weight back every time I freaking try someone else's advice. Every time I try my dietitian's advice, my doctor's advice, like, I do it for 2 weeks, but then I get even during those 2 weeks, I get lightheaded. My energy goes down. Bad things happen. Bad things happen when I follow someone else's advice. So if you're just hopping on right now, I'm Jared. I'm just telling a story about this guy who comes in. He says, hey, I'm struggling with food. What do I eat? And then he elaborates and says, I'm having these cravings. And he goes on and says, I'm having these cravings and they're overwhelming me. They're not satisfying me. I can't beat these cravings. So how do we beat cravings? Right? That's one of the questions I get a lot. And I also get these other questions too. What's the right form when I exercise? What is the proper nutrition? What is how to beat cravings? All these different things. And they're all wrong. That's what I want to help you break free of today. So let's say you got a problem. This guy's case, he's got cravings as a problem. It's really, really easy to focus in on that problem and forget the big picture. So this guy, he's focusing on cravings and he's asking me, what do I need to eat to stop the cravings? It's like, it's too simple of an answer. What do you need to eat to beat the cravings isn't asking the right question. It's not understanding cravings right. It's like a baby bird. A baby bird, it asks this mother bird, Mama, can you teach me how to fly? And the mama's like, first you need to grow up. You need to get strength in your wings. You need to practice and fall out of the nest a few times. You can't just learn how to fly. So there needs to be a mind shift change. The example I kind of like to give is I was narrowly focused in on literally enlightenment. Enlightenment. So back in my early 20s, I lived at this Zen mountain center for a while. And when I got there, I had a rigid, narrow focus, literally, on becoming enlightened. Enlightened in the full sense of the word. I am going to penetrate the deepest truth of the universe. I am going to focus in on actually becoming enlightened, and I am going to focus in on becoming enlightened. So I had this narrow focus on becoming enlightened in a spiritual sense. And I see the same tunnel vision when people talk about their diets. They talk in terms of, how can I beat the cravings? It's like me saying, how can I become enlightened? It's a too simple of a problem. It's too simple of a question. So if you have any questions, you can actually engage with me here. And we're talking about right now about breaking free from the dieting mentality, and how people focus in on one specific aspect of dieting, and they say, how do I control my cravings? That's one aspect. What's the proper exercise? That's another aspect. What's the right thing to eat? As if they magically get the right exercise, the right information, that magically their problem will be solved. Just like I was thinking, if I can magically find the right meditation technique, if I can magically concentrate enough, if I can do all this magic stuff, then somehow I'm going to become enlightened. And my big shift was, you can see if you're on the podcast, I'm on Facebook Live. There's a Weight Loss Enlightenment Facebook page where I'm broadcasting right now. If you're on the podcast, Weight Loss Enlightenment, or the YouTube channel, you can see this on the YouTube channel, but the slogan of the website is your biggest enlightenment. Let weight loss go. So when I was living in the monastery, I slowly started shifting and saying, you know what? How can I bring light into my everyday activities? How can I be mindful during my day-to-day? And I started shifting my focus to here and now. And paradoxically, I went, as I told the story before, I had some bad eating habits when I joined the monastery. I would stuff myself on my days off. I'd go hide. Depression, really dark. Didn't tell anyone about it. And as I started shifting out of this rigid, narrow tunnel vision mentality, my eating habits got better as well. It's like enlightenment to me meant that if I could just be happy, if somehow I could find the right technique, the right thing, then I could just be happy. And life is never that way. Life is never that way. Like, I wish it was. I wish it was. And so when we're talking about food struggles, there's a real deep temptation for someone to think, if only I could control my cravings, then I would be happy. And that's what this guy came in. That's what he was asking me about. He was asking me, if only I could control my cravings, then I'd be happy. Then everything else would fall in line. How do I control my cravings? What's the secret? And it's too simple of a question. So rather than telling him the answer, I started asking him some questions. I made a review on my Facebook page the other day about his 5-star review, and I had no slides. So it was a kind of an insight for me to ditch the slides, no slides, just connection. And I think the reason we connected so well is because I had no slides, just presence. And that's what inspired him ultimately, in addition to the information, to leave that 5-star review. But connection is the antidote, because when we narrowly focus in on that magic solution, right? The magic way to control cravings, the magic way to lose weight, the magic way to get enlightened. When you focus in on that, you're not connected. You're actually not connected to your body. You're not connected to your emotions. You might be like, you're not totally disconnected, but oftentimes you are. Oftentimes you are. And it's because oftentimes there's a message in front of you that's saying you need to lose weight. You should lose weight. This other person has lost weight. And so I started asking this guy questions because I knew it was going to be tough to get him out of that mentality unless I could help him look into his own past, into his own experiences, and see that these doctors, trainers, dietitians, as well-intentioned as they were, I asked him, what did the dietitian say to you? And he said, I forget what diet. He said, like, eat more vegetables. The trainer said, eat more protein. The doctor said, I'm forgetting what the doctor said. Something like drink more water. And so and they were more nuanced than that. Like, they gave him whole meal plans and everything. And he tried to follow them. But every time he tried to follow them, it was like he was following the magic bullet. It's like a spiritual guru saying, here's how you be enlightened. You breathe up through your left nostril. You plug your finger. You breathe up through the right nostril. You count to 7. And then you quickly, there's all these like different, I'm just making up stuff right now, but it's like they're selling you this magic solution. And then when you try to do it, it's complicated. You try to do it, but don't really understand it. You don't really see results. This is the mentality you have to break free of if you want to have a normal relationship with food, if you want to feel good about your body, build confidence around food. The most recent person I've been working with, and this guy too, he really felt a lot more confident after he was able to let go of this mentality. He said, you know what, I do need to listen to my body. And I found that, on the most recent one of my clients, they said, it's been such a relief to let go of all this outside noise. Like, I didn't know how much stress it was causing me, how much disconnection. When you try to follow someone else's path, and it's not the path for you, it causes like a jagged feeling in you. You're trying to do something that you kind of know in your soul is wrong. Like, it's subtle. Like, maybe you're convinced emotionally, maybe you like this person, maybe you even believe in their path, but they're telling you. Your body isn't the one telling you. They're telling you. They might give you all these reasons. Right? You gotta eat more vegetables, blah, blah, blah. You're convinced, but your soul isn't convinced. Your soul isn't convinced. And so we need to be able to understand those magic bullets do not serve you. And look into your own experience. Every time you try to follow someone else's advice about health, about nutrition, how does it work out? Because for a lot of people that are attracted to the message of weight loss enlightenment, which is letting go of weight loss, they've tried everything. They've tried 3 diets a year for the past 10 years. And they're sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of listening to their trainer, their dietitian, their doctor. Those are all outside stimulus. Weight loss enlightenment, it's about letting go of weight loss, shining the light inside. So this guy, he says, so after we talk, he's like, you're not going to tell me what to eat, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm going to be the mirror. I'm going to be the mirror. I'm going to be the guy that says, how does that food feel to your body? What's it like to think different? I'm going to help you think different. I'm going to ask you questions so you think different. So this guy, he came in asking, how do I control my cravings? He realized I can't control my cravings in one simple way. I need to connect with my body. Hey, Karen, how's it going? If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm just kind of ranting right now. I'm on a Facebook Live. I'm also doing a YouTube channel. Anyways, this guy comes in and he's asking about cravings. And, his dietitian, his doctor, his, all these people for his whole life, they told him, eat this and eat that. And he came in and he was like, at first he was asking, what do I need to eat? Because the advice they're giving me isn't working. And he said, the advice they're giving me isn't working. What do I need to eat? And so I flipped the tables around on him. I said, first of all, let's understand your own personal experience with trying to follow someone else's meal plan, someone else's view of nutrition. And I just asked him a bunch of questions. What does your trainer say? What does your doctor say? They all give him different things to eat, and he would always try to eat these, but he started realizing for himself, when I try to follow someone else's diet plan, I don't stick to it. I gain more weight. I feel terrible about myself. I end up feeling lightheaded and dizzy. That was his whole thing, like kind of nauseous and dizzy. And it was disconnecting him from his body. And so I started asking him, like, do you feel connected to your body when you are following all these meal plans? And he said, no, no, I don't. I don't. And then he's like, you're gonna, I was telling him my story about how I used to live as a Zen monk. I used to live in the mountains for about 13 months, and when I first got there, I was so focused on literally becoming enlightened, like, oh, enlightened, right? But I found out that the more I focused on enlightenment, like, the farther away it was. And, this little slogan right here is kind of based off of my experience in the spiritual setting, but also in my experience right here. Your biggest enlightenment is fill in the blank. Let weight loss go, or let enlightenment go. You gotta let that go. And this guy started really internalizing this. That's why he left that 5-star review. He said, you know what? I gotta let weight loss go. I gotta let that outside voice go. I gotta shine the light inward. I gotta do something that feels light to me, that feels good in my body. I gotta find out my own path. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, he said, you're not gonna tell me what to eat, are you? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna tell you what to eat. I'm gonna help you see your own light. I'm gonna help you discover what foods mean to you. What are your taste preferences? What feels good in your body? I'm not gonna tell you exactly what to eat. Maybe I'll encourage you to maybe try some healthy foods, quote unquote, but we're not stuck to it. You don't have to eat it if it doesn't feel good in your body. And this message right here, that's what I'm trying to communicate here. To shift out of the dieting thinking, you gotta reflect. Does dieting work for me? Has it worked for me? Is really listening to another person's opinion on the next scientific fact on the low carb diet, the keto diet, the blah, blah, blah diet. I've tried all these before. How's it worked out? That's the first step. We got to break free of the diet is really internalize. Diets don't work for me. That's what I'm going to be covering this Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on what's it called? At New Life. There's a workshop at New Life at 1:30. We're gonna be helping people break free of the diet mentality and reconnecting to their body. So anyways, that's all I got for you today. If this message is valuable to you, go ahead and like, comment, ask a question, right? Like, I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. One of my affirmations in the morning, you might be able to like see I got like a vision board up here. I'm always trying to and I read on my phone every morning. I have like a Google spreadsheet of affirmations, and I only have 23 of them because it's like, I don't want to scroll. I've done like more affirmations than that in the past, but then I get all mixed up in my head. It takes too long to read. But I got 23 affirmations. That's all that fits on the screen. And one of them is striving to serve, in a very true and honest meaning of that word. Striving to serve. And part of service is just being there. And that's why I have these Tuesday and Saturday sit-ins. And where am I going with this? Oh yeah, ask questions or go to the website, intuitiveeating.org is a great website. It's not my website, but weightlossenlightenment.com. All right, I've had enough. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Hope to see you soon.